Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Social Monkey. We've got the fallout, haven't we, from yesterday? Oh God, it just seems to get worse and worse by every time I see a new news story, a new interview. It just seems to be getting absolutely. I'm still lost for words. I really am. Listening to Florentino Perez's interview yesterday. A lot of people scrutinised the comments that he was making, especially in comparison to they've been talking for 2 years on how to save football, on how much Real Madrid have lost over these past 2 seasons in the region of around £400 million. Well, let's be honest, who else hasn't lost money over these last couple of years due to this pandemic? Who hasn't? It's an absolute ridiculous statement to come out with. One of the richest clubs in the world. You've lost 400 million. Oh, boo-hoo. I'm sure you'd be able to find money from somewhere else if you sold some of your star players and then started acting like the rest of the clubs in La Liga, rather than making out that you're top of the table and should be there by right. Nah, I'm sorry. This executive banker. Well, the whole lot of them are executive bankers, aren't they? JP Morgan, the bank that financed Man United, JP Morgan, people that employed Ed Woodward, the snake, as UEFA have called him, rightly so, making sure that he had fingers and toes in all the pies around Europe. And then when it comes to the crunch, where all of these owners have all been having secret conversations over the last 2 years, they've been literally spies within UEFA and FIFA. Now, everyone could say, this has been coming. We allowed it to happen. Different supporters from United and other teams have, warned us that, you've made your bed, you've got to sleep in it now. You're all happy from when all this money come in. But it's not like that. You expect, you give people the benefit of the doubt. People weren't happy when the Glazers took over at Man United. People weren't happy. But you saw, I said it yesterday, the transition of the last 15 years, it's gone down and down and down. And it seems like, I hate to be a conspiracy theorist, but it seems like this has been planned a lot longer than 2 years, especially with the connections that all of the Manchester United board and owners have with JP Morgan. The Football Forum, which is led by Mino Raiola, has come out and said they're in favour for it. Well, of course they're in favour for it. They're going to be the ones making the majority of the money. You think if you're going to have a 15-tier system with all these teams that are going to be in it every year, what's to say that, first year De Gea's at United, then he goes to Real Madrid, then he goes to Juventus. Now, some people think, that sounds good. Do players get to play through they want? Well, no. Why is it good? It's not good. I spoke to someone yesterday who said that, we'll never get relegated. We got relegated. We nearly went down to the bottom tier of English football back in the 70s because we wasn't good enough. So what divine right do we have now to say that, back then, we pulled ourselves out the parapet and we deserve to stay where we are now? No, nobody deserves it. Nobody does. Perez saying that none of the deal's done. It's all been signed. Nobody can leave now. That it's all been signed, sealed and delivered. Well, the fans' pushback is going to be a lot bigger. All right, we might not have the millions and billions to take you to court with this, but voices are enough. Voices are enough. If you've got 75,000 seats that are still empty after pandemic because of the treachery that these guys have put fans through, then that's their own fault. They can go off and have their Super League. Good luck with getting fans. People from all around the world are condemning this. It's literally a handful of people, that are supporting this. It's not, there isn't like a 50-50 divide. There isn't. It's not there. One thing that actually creased me up when I heard it, I thought, are you having a laugh? This guy says that 16 to 24-year-olds are losing interest in football. Right. If these people actually knew what community football was about, where I'm from and where I live, a 1 mile village has at least 4 to 5 teams that have under nines all the way up to men's. And you could go further afield, you could go miles out in any direction. And I guarantee you there's football pitches full up every single Saturday and Sunday with people that love football, want to play football. And those people are in between those ages and older, especially in the veterans leagues. So this nonsense that 16 to 24-year-olds aren't interested in football. No, they're not interested in this rubbish. Oh, we've lost money. Oh, no one's interested in this more. No, nobody's interested in oligarchs paying 120 million for one player when that could save perhaps 6 or 7 clubs in the lower tiers for one player. Now, the player might be world class, might be the best in the world. So be it. But don't tell me that you've lost 400 million quid when you're spending 100 million quid on a player, like they did with Ronaldo, like they did with everybody else that they've purchased, the Galacticos. Absolutely astounding, the comments that were coming out of this bloke's mouth. I said it yesterday. It's the bentest league that you're ever going to see. It really is. It's the bentest league. I mean, they've said that no one's going to get expelled from their leagues and competitions. They've already broken the rules. They've already left the ECA, which is pretty much the organisation to say you can play in the Champions League, you can play in the Europa League. They've all left it already. So you can't say, oh no, you're not going to be expelled from it, even though we've come away from those organisations. You can't have it both ways. Just because JP Morgan, the bank that buys everything, just gives you a load of money. It ain't on. If Real Madrid can't afford, Man United can't afford, and I was going to say Man City, but that's clearly incorrect. Real Madrid, Man United, Barcelona, Tottenham, Arsenal, all of these teams are saying we've lost millions. That's your own fault. That's by living beyond your means, by living off debt, by expecting the fans to cover you, because the fans are the ones that keep you ticking over. Now the fans aren't there because of this global pandemic. You want to run to a big multi-billion-pound bank and go, oh, there's no fans. Give us some money. The fans aren't interested anymore. No, the fans can't go anymore. And you know what? The fans won't go anymore to these clubs. They won't. And, you know, massive props to Jurgen Klopp, Gary Neville, James Milner, Rio Ferdinand, the guys at Stretford Paddock, United Stand, and other mentionable fan channels that I've been watching over the last couple of days that have been doing extensive coverage over this absolute fallout of the Super League. I've mentioned it's not called the European Super League, which is even more insidious, because if it's called the Super League, that means that it's going to be international. So that means that the likes of Boca Juniors, River Plate, Al Hilal, I think that's the name of their place, the Dubai one. This is going to happen. And a World League will then kill the World Cup, because there's no need for international football then. International football has been corrupt for years. But there's always that allure and hope that your international team can make it all the way. I mean, you saw the glory of, you know, what South Korea done in their home tournament back in 2000, I think it's 2002. You know, what happened there? England almost reaching the final, losing to Croatia. I was literally in a pub in that semi-final with my boss and another work colleague, and it was absolutely immense. I don't think I'm ever going to see England potentially in another World Cup semi-final because of this Super League. If they do ban English players, right, let's just take this in perspective. If English players can't play in the Euros or the World Cup, okay, let's go through some of the players that won't play. Luke Shaw, left back, no. Dean Henderson in goal, no. Harry Maguire, no. Harry Kane, no. Phil Foden, no. Marcus Rashford. How many more do I need to spell out before we've got no England team anymore? It says it all, really, doesn't it? And you can look at all your other clubs. Jordan Henderson, he's not going to play for England anymore. Because even though Florentino Perez says, oh, they can't ban us, yes, they can. and hopefully they will. I hope full sanctions come upon all of these clubs. I hope they're relegated. I hope they are actually fined to the eyeballs. So all of this money that JP Morgan want to send over to these clubs is insignificant to the amount of money that these clubs have fined. I mean, I'm not one for the protests of going down to the ground or anything like that, or of any club, just because of the restrictions that are going on at the moment. But I can guarantee you this: if this was released while fans were in the ground, there would have been riots. There would have been pitch invasions. There would have been chairs coming off out the seats. Picture behind me says the Alex Ferguson stand, and that was given in memory to him. They've just shat on that memory. It means nothing anymore. Alex Ferguson's name will stand forever in time in football. Manchester United have tarnished their own name by selling out for money. If we all club together as a fan base for football, regardless of what team you support, we need to stick together and either not purchase anything related to this Super League. That means shirts, merchandise, tickets, match days, anything. Stop it all. Stop it all. I've been looking through the teams in European football that deserve to be in this. Not because they've got the world riches. And it's funny because they say the big clubs, the big six. Funny that they're all skin. Funny that they've all got no money, but they're the big clubs and they need more money to survive. How about you take a leaf out the rest of the world's book, take back the reins and say, right, okay, we're paying too much money out to players. We're paying too much money out to agents. We need to cut this. We need to stop it. That's what they need to be doing, not fleecing fans out of watching football matches with their local rivals. Fans enjoy going to grounds around the country. Armchair fans like me, you'd think I'd be happy that I could just sit back in the armchair and watch United play Barcelona, Real Madrid, Spurs and Arsenal every week. No, I'm not happy with that. I don't want to watch Spurs once every fucking 4 weeks, thanks. I don't want to watch Arsenal or Man United play the same teams consistently. I don't want to watch it. Nobody does. It'll get boring, monotonous. It just won't have any guided interest to anybody after it. Even when they release it, even when they do it, how many people are actually going to go and watch these games? It's not going to be many. They're not going to fill the stadiums up, and they'll blame that because of the pandemic. But once the pandemic's over, you'll start seeing trickles of fans coming back in, but it won't be full houses. Away fans aren't going to be able to afford. You imagine that you've got these away fans that go week in, week out, all across the country and pay to go to Europe. But now they're expected, right, okay, you're going to get 10 games at home, 10 games away. Who's going to afford to go to Milan, Barcelona, Madrid, Turin? Who's going to be able to afford to do that? The people who have got all the money. The regular fan has been shat on. And it's unacceptable. It is unacceptable for this to go ahead. And honestly, I hold my hands up to, I mean, obviously Klopp and Neville had a few war of words yesterday, but technically they are on the same page. I mean, obviously Klopp was defending Liverpool for Neville's comments against the Never Walk Alone. I think both of them have strong feelings about this, that they want to defend their clubs to a certain extent, but you can't defend any of this. The players need to stand up and strike. The players don't want, surely the players don't want to be part of this. Surely. How can you legitimately feel like a professional footballer if you're only going to be playing, technically, in a Super League, 6 other teams that are from 2 different nations? It's ridiculous. The teams that should be in it, you've got Nottingham Forest, what Brian Clough done there. You've got Celtic, First British team to win the European Cup. If anything, they should be top of the list. They should be there. They were the first in this United Kingdom to do it. Celtic should be there. Villa should be there. Want to be pedantic? Steaua Bucharest should be there. They've won the European Cup. Look back through the history, you'll find them. They should be there. If you're going to do a Super League like this, you've got to include pretty much every European Cup winner. If you're going to do this legitimately, not just pick the teams that have got potentially the biggest revenue pools in Europe. This is why people were against it, because it's not about saving football. It's about saving their own arses. They've pumped so much money into this, and the pandemic has actually twisted their nuts so badly they're going to have to go, Christ, we can't afford any more losses. Well, welcome to the real world. When things go tits up, you end up losing what you have. We've all lost a lot of things over the years, and for a president or an owner of a multi-billion-pound companies, we've lost some money, haven't we all? Doesn't give you the right to take away a national sport away from us, because it is. The UK football is our national sport. So you can imagine, right? British millionaires going over to America, taking over the NBA, and going, right, okay, we're no longer going to have this conference stuff anymore. We're going to start doing relegations. So if you're not good enough as a basketball team, you're going to go into the amateurs. Can you imagine the uproar in America? What would happen? Can you imagine what would happen? All of these massive NBA fans that have been brainwashed into believing that this franchise style of sport is something to be applauded when it isn't. Glorified money-making schemes and scams that these people put on. We pride ourselves on hard work, dedication. If you're not good enough, you don't make it. And if you've got the will and drive to push forward and make yourself better, then you're rewarded for it. Like any job that you do. If you go to work every day knowing that you're never going to get sacked and just sit down in the canteen and go, morning, no, I don't fancy doing any work today. Because you could do that in this Super League, couldn't you? Boys could turn up. We're getting paid regardless. We're not going down. Who gives the monkeys? Because I know full well the human mentality that once you've got enough money, and I've known friends that had nothing and then been given everything, and these people are now, oh no, we don't do that anymore. Money changes people. It changes a lot of people. I know people which money's changed them massively compared to the people that they were. I know people that still be working McDonald's and Virgins if they weren't given the money that they are owed by their family members. Get that silver spoon out, because that's what Florentino Perez is. That's what the Glazers are. That's what the Henrys are, and the rest of them. Silver spoon falls. And it's sad to say that we are now losing something that has stayed within English football for over 100 years. And it's going to be gone. All because of money. Now, I'm going to be doing videos on this consistently. I'm going to be looking at the reports. I'm going to be taking stead into what's going to be going on moving forward with this. Obviously, I've only just started doing this YouTube channel. I'm not going to be looking to, gather around me. If somebody wanted me to come on their show and speak with them, great. If somebody doesn't, I'll continue to do these videos. It doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is about me voicing my opinion on how shite this actual idea is. Seeing a news article today actually made me feel a bit sick, actually. So Manchester Evening News are like the propaganda machine for the Glazers. They like ponying that absolute rag on a consistent basis. And they compare this breakaway to the Super League to what Sir Matt Busby done to try and get United into the European Cup. Makes me feel sick. Physically sick. What that man did for our club, nearly dying for this club, watching friends, players that he's mentored die in front of him, and for then him to rebuild the club and take us 10 years later to a European title and beating one of the best teams in the world at that point in Benfica, having Eusebio up front, a Ballon d'Or winner. You want to compare this absolute shit show to what Sir Matt Busby done? Do one. Whoever wrote that, I didn't even read who. I should have done really, because but I think I was so incensed of reading the article, I just ended up flicking it off. No, I can't read any more of that. Can't read any more of it. Whoever the journalist that wrote that, go back and look at your history. Stop taking money from the man and realise what you're writing. Real Man United fans know the history, know the pain that was caused, heartache, and the struggle that they took to get back there. We had Ballon d'Or winners in our team when honestly, I'm just so, I can't talk about that anymore, because all I want to do is just chin that journalist, because he's an absolute mug. Absolute mug. It just baffles me beyond belief. I've been looking through social media. Thanks for the guys that have watched my previous video of me ranting. I do apologise for the consistent swearing. A couple of people did message me, so come on, mate, be careful, you're overdoing it a little bit. But I felt so passionately yesterday. And when I feel passionately, about something, my emotions will take over. So I don't really have a filter. I've been trying to be more less aggressive, if I can be, on this video. I couldn't hold back. There's a few things I said that were probably incorrect. Probably about the finance side of things. But when you're emotionally taken in by something that destroys something you've loved for so long, it is going to pull on the heartstrings a little bit. So I do apologise for the overzealous swearing and bits and pieces from yesterday. But as I said, I'm going to continue to do videos like this. I thank the support that people have given me for the views that they've watched, and also Facebook as well. I've seen Facebook blowing up with people supporting stopping this league moving forward. But are people's voices going to be enough? Because the way that Florentino Perez is talking at the minute, it's done. They've already done it. They've worked in the background for the last 2 years to get behind all of these clubs, get into FIFA, get into UEFA, find out what their plans are, and basically take it all away. That's what they've been doing. It's corruption and sneakiness on the highest level. Now, you can throw money at Sepp Blatter and, take the mickey out of him, but at least he didn't it wasn't really hidden, was it? The Americans went in and took all of these guys out for the World Cup fixing of the Qatar World Cup, that bribes and bits and pieces were taken. Of course, that's been going on forever. That's probably been going on since the first World Cup. No teams, no international teams or no European teams were ever, right, this is the teams that we've got to have in it every single year. No World Cup or European Cup's been like that. The structures of these tournaments that we've got for UEFA and FIFA probably could be dealt with a little bit better. I think the Nations League is probably a prototype model for that, where the sort of lesser teams would play each other and the top teams would play each other. I think that would be in international football better, because you're not going to get people going to Wembley to watch England play San Marino. For example, the friendlies that I used to go and watch as an England fan as a kid, a lot of the friendlies I watched were actually paid by the school that I was at. So there'd be a coach load of us. We all got a certain amount of tickets and we all got to go and watch the England game. You won't be seeing that at Manchester United or Man City or Liverpool anytime soon. How are you going to send school kids to go and watch Real Madrid Barcelona when it's £250 a ticket? Because that's what it's going to be going towards. Shirts are going to be over £100. That's going to be happening. Full kit's going to probably cost you about 200 quid. merchandise. That's all of it's going up. If they're telling you now that they're losing money, you honestly think that season tickets and shirts and merchandise are all going to stay the same price? No chance. We're all being priced out of this market, and there's only one boys' club that you can be part of. And if you're not part of it, then you're going to have to go and support someone else, because the average fan can't afford to support these clubs. They just can't. They just can't. We need the players to stand up. We need the players to say, look, no, this is not what we want. We signed the contract to play in the Premier League and the Champions League and the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. We want the right to be able to choose if we can play for our country. If UEFA and the football governing bodies do decide to sanction these clubs, I expect this summer to be one of the biggest transfer windows in history. Because if, for example, if this does go ahead and the sanctions are put on, imagine telling Harry Kane, yeah, we're in the Super League now, mate, but you can't play for England. You honestly think he's going to stay at the club? You honestly think he's going to stay? There'll be a transfer request handed in. That guy has been so proud to play for Tottenham over the last few years. He's looking to beat Alan Shearer's goal scoring record in the Premier League. He's not going to do that now if he stays at Tottenham. He's not going to be one of England's greatest ever strikers because he can't play for England because he plays for Tottenham. The contracts that supposedly have been signed are unbinding. You can't get out of it. It's been done and dusted. These owners could theoretically kill. Well, I think Madrid and Barca, I think they're the main ones that are pushing this with United. I think they're the main three. Barcelona are in like $1 billion worth of debt. Madrid, I've already mentioned, they've lost 400 million. United, on the other hand, have been making profits consistently, but clearly that's not enough for the Glazers. Since they've taken over the club, they've actually siphoned off hundreds of millions of pounds out of the club. Now you'd think that the investments that they've been given, the investments that they've been putting into the club, no. Look at the fan base around Manchester United and how many people around the world support that club. If you're getting millions of people to buy shirts at £70 a pop, how do you reckon they bought Harry Maguire? Harry Maguire. Shirt sales. Because I'm telling you now, looking at the shirt sales that United are going to be expecting for next year, if you've had a look at the leaked shirt that United have done, it is absolutely disgusting. It's probably one of the worst shirts they've done. I bought the gold one because I like that. But this new red one, this just looks like spew to me. So I can't see anyone wearing that shirt other than the players that are forced to wear it because of whatever sponsorship that the Glazers, how much money they've had waved under their nose to have this. I think, I can't remember the name of it now. It's obscure. No one's ever heard of it. I think it's called Team View or something. Don't know what that is. Probably, and to be honest, I don't care. At least when you had a proper sponsor on the front that you knew where it was from, where it was coming from. Even Chevrolet, I would have been happy to keep that. But this new team, it just looks awful. Go online and have a look at the League Man United kits. It is atrocious. I'd wear the gold kit any day over that load of old nonsense. Get yourselves online and have a look at all of the fan cams, the fan channels, social media, all of it, and get your points across. Don't feel like your voice can't be heard. It can be. Everybody needs to shout out about this. Everybody. Even if it's just one tweet, one mention, one like, one subscription, that adds to the pressure that we need to put on these absolute elitist mugs to stop putting this on. And it sounds like it's already grown its legs, it's grown a body, and now it's got an intelligent head on it by the looks of things, and it doesn't look like it's going to go anywhere. I spoke to a couple of Man United fans yesterday. One of them said that I don't see what the problem is. We're going to be staying in the Premier League. We're going to be playing the best teams week in, week out. What's the problem? But then I spoke to another Man United fan that said, who actually goes to the games, and he said, I can't physically do it anymore. I can't. He said to me, I can't even think about supporting United anymore. He's already chosen another team to support because he's that hurt. He feels that betrayed. He's decided to support Everton. He said they've got great history. He said they've got a great manager. He said they've signed some great players. He said behind the scenes that they try and do their best for the club and the fans. He said he's been doing his research, and that's the club he's going to choose. If Man United do go into this, then he's going to be an Everton fan. And this is what I said yesterday. I still haven't chosen a club that I could legitimately support as much as United. It's hard. Some other people could probably just go, yeah, West Ham. Yeah, this, that. I can't. When you've invested 25, 30 years of your life into one club, it's hard to change allegiances that quickly. Let's get the players. Let's put pressure on the players. Well, let's not put pressure on the players. Let's ask the players to stand up for us. We've been paying these guys wages for decades now. Decades. Let's ask for something back from them. Let's ask for something that we all want. Multi-millionaires in all 6 clubs. Strike. Go against this. All of you hand in transfer requests. They want to change the entire look of their team, then let them do it. I would prefer to keep the loyal players in the Premier League and for them to play for other clubs than to go over to this nonsense. It's an absolute travesty. And if they can, then I'll be behind every single one of them. I'm behind Jurgen Klopp, what he said yesterday. I'm behind Gary Neville, Jamie Carragher, Rio Ferdinand, and any other player that wants to come out to condemn this. I'll be behind you. Just like Fergie is behind all these boys there. That's what I want to be like. I want to be behind the boys, cheering them on, being proud of what they've achieved, not just because of the name. That's what I want to be proud of. More to come from me. I'm sure I'll do another one tomorrow. I am going to be literally banging on about this until it is absolutely finalised, set in stone, or dead in the water. Either which way, the Social Monkey is going to be covering the European Super League, International Super League, or let's just call it the Money League. That's probably better. The Euro Money League. That's what we should be called. Hashtag Euro Money League. Kill it now. Take care, everybody. Got any questions, comments? Like, share and subscribe over at the Social Monkey. You can find me on Facebook as well, Instagram. I'm all over that at the minute. There's only a few pictures and bits and pieces, unfortunately, where I've only got a few hours of time during the morning to go to work. I'll try and get as much in as consistently possible. Shirts, jumpers, hats, everything that I'm doing through the Social Monkey clothing line at the moment. It's now official. The badge that I've actually got on the Social Monkey jumpers is now copyrighted, so that's officially mine. So moving forward with that, there's going to be more designs coming out in the next few months, especially with tracksuits that I'm going to be doing as well. Be looking to place products in shops. Already spoken to a few retail outlets that would be interested in having my product in their shop as well. So you'd be able to see the Social Monkey's actual product in shop and online as well. I'm still struggling with the fact of trying to get a website set up. Predominantly, it's just to have time to do it. That's the problem that I've got. But while this is all going on with the Super League, I am behind every single fan that is opposed to this. So if you need support, you need a voice, I'm with you every step of the way. I'm the Social Monkey. Any more updates from this, you'll see me tomorrow. Have yourself a great day, guys and girls. All the best. Bye-bye.